Hello, my name is Lana Marconi. I'm a registered traditional Chinese medicine acupuncturist. Today I'd like to take a moment and talk to you about Tcm herbs. And the reason why I would like to talk to you about herbs today is because over the last year I've actually been in the process of upgrading my designation from registered TCM acupuncturist to registered TCM practitioner, which includes herbology. Now, herbology is a huge area in TCM, and I'm so glad that I decided to dive into herbs in terms of traditional Chinese medicine. So what I have prepared for you today is one of the more famous types of formulas called Yu Ping Feng San, and it means Jade Windscreen. Typically, this type of formula, which is composed of 3 herbs, would be prescribed to a patient to take a couple of months before, let's say, the fall or winter time in order to ramp up their immune system. One of my professors said that it's akin to the Western version of the flu shot. Now, for all those people who are scientific out there, I'm just saying that it was a similarity so we can understand the type of formula that this is. Obviously, do your research on each of these individual herbs. Okay, so what is in this formula? We have R.C to start with, and that is astragalus. And this is what R.C looks like. It is slightly warm. It enters the lung and the spleen, and it's on the sweet side in terms of taste. So when we look at herbs and TCM, we look at the temperature, we look at the taste, and we look at the meridians that the herbs actually enter. Now, a lot of herbs have multiple functions. And one of the functions of astragalus is that it helps to enhance the Wei Qi. So what is Wei Qi in TCM? Your Wei Qi is your defensive shield. It's your immunity, your immune system in Western medicine. And so when we take R.C, it actually helps to strengthen the spleen, tonify the qi, and also augment the Wei Qi. So it's a great herb to take if you're feeling run down, for example, if you have allergies, for example, or if you want to prepare yourself for the fall-winter seasons that we have here in Canada. Another herb that goes into this formula is called Baizhu. It's an Atractyloides. This is what Baizhu looks like. It's a herb that helps to tonify the qi as well as what R.C does. In terms of its functions, again, it has multiple functions, and one of the reasons why it's recommended in this formula is that it helps to tonify the spleen and stabilize the exterior. Now, in TCM, the spleen helps to prepare the qi for the Wei Qi, the defense mechanism. So the spleen is very important in the immunity in terms of how TCM views the body. And as I said earlier, this herb actually helps to stabilize the exterior, your Wei Qi. It helps to stop spontaneous sweating, those sweats that you get when you're having that initial stage of a cold, for example. Baizhu, in terms of its temperature, is warm, it's bittersweet, slightly acrid, and the meridians that it enters are the spleen and the stomach. Another herb that goes into this formula is Feng Feng, also known as Radix sapochnikova, and it is slightly warm, it's acrid, sweet, and the meridians that it enters includes the urinary bladder, the spleen, the lungs, and the liver. This type of herb also has many functions like the other herbs do. Feng Feng is a type of herb that helps to release the exterior in terms of a wind cold or the common cold attack on the body. It helps when you have like the chills, you have headache, you have body aches, for example. And so that's one of the reasons why this herb is in this formula. So I'd like you to again meet these herbs. We have R.C, Feng Feng, and Baizhu, all going into one formula called Yu Ping Feng San. Now, how do we make this formula for you as a patient? So if you were to come to a TCM practitioner / herbologist, how would they give you this type of formula? There are many types of different methods for a person to take herbs in traditional Chinese medicine, which I have all laid out here for you. One of the ways is the tablets or the pills. And so this is a company called Golden Flower that makes Jade Windscreen or Yu Ping Feng San. These are the tablets, as you can see. So these tablets come in this bottle, and these tablets are made up of these 3 herbs. So you can get the tablet version of this formula. Another way that a person can ingest these herbs is to have them ground into a powder. Now, what does that look like? Well, first we have to weigh out these herbs in terms of a formula. And so I've already done that work right here on this little scale, and I've weighed out the herbs. We have the Wang Qi, the Feng Feng, and the Baizhu. If you're going to take these herbs in a powder version, like I have right here, they first need to go in a grinder. So the grinder can make it into a powder form that the body can digest. And so right here is the herb grinder. And basically I would take these herbs, put them in the grinder, let them grind down into the powder version again, which is right here. The way you would take the powder version of this formula is that you would take a tablespoon and you would put it in the glass and you would mix it with water. Personally, I like mixing it with warm water as opposed to cold water, but whatever your preference is. And then I would just drink that down. So that is the powder version of how to take the herb. So we've looked at the pill version, the powder version, and now we're going to look at what's called decoction. This is a liquid decoction, basically. They call it a soup in TCM. And so you would use a pot like this because it actually plugs in, and it's really good for herbs and to decoct herbs. What you would do is take these herbs, you'd put them in the pot, you'd fill it with water. There's a certain amount of water that goes in, and your TCMP would instruct you on the amount of water that you would need. And in fact, your TCMP would probably be making this for you, so all you would have to do is just come and pick it up. And so this would go in the pot with some water, and you would plug this in. It decocts on its own. You can decoct it 2 times, for example. There's a whole process of how to decoct, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. But when it's done, it turns into a liquid that you would drink. So you would take this pot once it's done, decocting all those herbs, you would filter it through one of these. Basically, the liquid will be like a darkish color depending on the herbs. Depending on the herbs, the liquid could be very, very dark or a light dark, for example. And then you would drink this. And so, yeah, they call this a soup, but it's a liquid drink. There you have it. I've just shown you 3 different methods that a person can choose from in terms of how they would like to take their TCM herbs, depending on the type of herbs that are prescribed to them. There are also other applications. For example, herbs can be made into a paste that would be put on the body, and that's usually done in cases of trauma or for skin issues. I encourage you to always do your research in terms of the herbs that are prescribed to you, and always ask your traditional Chinese medicine practitioner about the herbs that are prescribed to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you in terms of giving you a better understanding of the herbs that are used in TCM and how they are used in TCM. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.